Hey y'all, let's cover lesson 14, solving equations involving integers, and this is the second part to this. All right, so solving for x, 7x minus 11x is equal to 12. Well, they have to be like terms in order for me to combine them, so therefore they have to have the same variable or no variable at all. So we have 7x and 11x, they both have the same variable, so these can be combined. So x is going to be in my answer, or not. There we go. X is going to be my answer, and I just have to look at the coefficients, which are the numbers right in front of X. Don't get thrown off by new terminology. Just get comfortable with hearing me saying it, because I'm still going to tell you that it's the number in front of X. You're going to have to come to a point to where you're understanding and comfortable with that. All right. 7 minus 11. The signs are different, so we subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. So 11 minus 7 is 4. The 11 is negative, so therefore the 4 is as well. Bring down everything else. Negative 12. Is equal to 12. Now, negative 4 times x. The inverse or opposite of multiplication is division, so we have to divide both sides by negative 4, which you do one side, you do to the other because of the equal sign. These reduce to 1, so that becomes x is equal to 12 divided by 4 is 3. The signs are opposite, so therefore the answer is negative. Or you could say it's positive divided by a negative. You'll get the same thing. All right. The next one, solve for x. 12 is equal to 5x minus parentheses 4 plus x. All right. So remember in the last lecture, the number, if there's no number between the negative and a parenthesis, there's an assumed 1 there. All right. You feel free to put the 1. Or if you want to, you can just think of as that negative is just going to change the sign of everything in that parenthesis. So you're multiplying everything in that parenthesis by a negative 1. And so therefore, it's just going to change their signs. That's the only thing we can do right now. 12 is equal to 5x. So that becomes a negative times a positive is a negative 4. And a negative times a positive is a negative x. The signs are different, so therefore the sign is going to be negative. Okay, now we can combine like terms. We have the 5x and we have the x. They both have the same variable. So we're going to have x in our answer down here. 5 minus, remember there's an assumed 1 here. So 5 minus 1, the signs are different. So the answer is 4, and take the sign of the larger number. Bring down everything else. Okay, now we're going to isolate. We're going to solve for x. When it says solve for x, that means you want x on one side of the equal sign. So who's attached to x and how? That's the question I always ask myself. 4 is attached by subtraction, so we're going to have to add 4 to both sides. And we get 16 is equal to 4x. Now who's attached to x and how? 4 is attached to x by multiplication. The inverse or opposite of multiplication is division. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. So x is equal to 4. Sorry about this. Sometimes we will encounter equations that contain variables on both sides of the equation. In these cases, our goal is to isolate the term containing the variable on one side. So whenever I say isolate x on one side, get it all by its little lonesome, that means I want x on one side of the equal sign and a number on the other. And that's all you need to focus on. So we're going to isolate. I think I'm getting a little cold. The terms, sorry about this, containing the variable. Please feel free to put this in your words, containing the variable. This is the same thing as me saying isolate x on one side, or isolate, well, that's what the thing, because x is not always the variable. So whatever you need to put it into your words to ensure that you have that. Containing the variable on one side of the equation. And you can do that, well, by adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. By adding, in this case, we're adding and subtracting. You can do all of it. The main thing is to get the x or the variable by itself. So solve for x. 5x is equal to 3x minus 18. So in this case, they're wanting us to get the 3x moved to the other side with the 5x so that all the x's are together on one side. All right, to do that, the 3 is positive on one side. So if we have a 3, how do we get rid of a 3? We subtract 3 to get a 0. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. 5 minus 3 is 2x is equal to negative 18. Okay. 2 is attached to x by multiplication. The opposite or inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to 18 divided by 2 is 9. The signs are opposite, so therefore it's negative. You can also plug it back in to check it. All right, let's do that. 5 times negative 9 is equal to 3 times negative 9. Oh, I'm running out of space here. Sorry about this. Plus minus 18. All right, 5 times 9 is 45. Signs are opposite, so it's negative. 3 times 9 is 27. Signs are opposite, so it's negative. The signs are the same, so we add them and keep the sign. 15, 2, 3, 4. It checks out, so x equals negative 9. Let's go to the next one. 5x is equal to 3 plus 6x. You might be tempted to take that 5x to the other side because the 6x is larger. We're not doing that. We're going to subtract 6x from both sides, because if you'd have moved the 5x over, then you would have had to move the 3 over, and that's just too many darn steps. The signs are different, so we subtract and take the sign of the larger number. Okay. Who's attached to x and how? The negative 1's attached by multiplication. The opposite or inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by both. Sorry about this. Let me get rid of this. Great. So x is equal to 3 divided by 1 is 3. The signs are opposite, so it's negative. All right, let's check that. 5 times negative 3 is equal to 3 plus 6 times negative 3. 5 times 3 is 15. The signs are opposite, so it's negative. 3, okay, 6 times 3 is 18. The signs are different, so it's negative. Negative 15 is equal to, the signs are opposite, so we subtract. So that's 15, and take the sign of the larger number, which would be the 18. And that checked out nicely. All right. Solve for x. 6x minus 5 is equal to 12x plus 19. Well, we're going to have to move the constants, and we're going to have to move the numbers of the variables. So it really doesn't matter. How about we move our x's to the left and our numbers to the right? So let's move our x's first. Minus 12x minus 12x. Could I have done it the other way? Of course I could. So we've got, the signs are different, so we have to subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. Bring everything else down. This is gone. Okay, now we need to move the 5, the negative 5, to the other side. It's negative, so we need to add it to both sides. We get negative 6x is equal to 19, 21, 2, 3, 24. Negative 6 attached to x by multiplication. The opposite or inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1. So that's x equal to 24 divided by 6 is 4. The signs are different, so it's negative. All right, let's check that. I'm going to come to, oh, where can I go? I guess we can come up all the way up here. 7 times, oh, no, not such a one. I'm so sorry. 6 times negative 4 minus 5 is equal to 12 times negative 4 plus 19. All right, this is our checking it. 6 times 4 is 24. Signs are different, so it's negative. 12 times 4 is 48. Signs are different, so it's negative. Signs are the same, so we add them and keep the sign. and signs are different, so we subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. 48 and 19. That is going to be a 9, and that's going to be a 2. Oh, checks out nicely. Fabulous. All right, go to the last one here, solving for x. We got a few things happening here. Well, we can't start moving things over to across the equal sign until we get rid of this distribution for both of these. We've got to distribute this 2 over the binomial and the -3 over the binomial. So 2 times 3 is 6, and don't forget your x. And then the part that people always forget is the 2 times 2, which is 4. Now we've got -3 times 4. You know what? I want to write this differently because people forget this. I want to write this so you can see it. 2 times 3x plus 2 times 2 minus 3 times 4. And then negative times negative is positive 3 times x equal to x plus 8. 2 times 3 is 6x. 2 times 2 is positive 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Our signs are opposite, so it's negative. Plus 3x is equal to x plus 8. This is a long one. All right, let's combine our like terms on the left side so we can just clean this up a little bit. So we're going to simplify this. This is 6x and 3x. They're both positive, so we add them, 9x. All right, they're gone. Then 4 minus 12, the signs are different, so we subtract and take the sign of the larger number. All right, now we can move our x's to one side and our constants to the other. Let's just move our numbers. We're going to add 8 to both sides. And I just arbitrarily chose to move my numbers to the right. Again, you go wherever you want to go. We should get the same answers. Now let's move this x to the other side. It's positive, so we have to subtract it from both sides. And we get 8x is equal to 16. Finally, who's attached to x and how? 8 by multiplication. So therefore, we have to divide both sides by 8. And we get x is equal to 2. Let's check this. So we've got, so we might check. 2 times 3, 3 times 2 plus 2, minus 3, I'm going to run out of space. 4 minus 2 is equal to, I got this. I can make this work right here. All right, I'm going to carry it on over here. It's equal to, what was the answer? Negative, no, it was 2. Is equal to 2 plus 8. All right, so let's figure out what's in our parentheses first. 2 times 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 minus 3 times 4 minus 2 is 2 is equal to 8 plus 2 is 10. All right, let's do what's inside the parentheses now. That's 2 times 8 minus 3 times 2 is 6. The signs are opposite, so it stays negative, is equal to 10. All right. What happened? Oh, we're checking this. All right. So 2 times 8 is 16 minus 6 is equal to 10. 16 minus 6, the signs are different. We subtract, take the sign of the larger number, equal 10. It checks out. Fabulous. That was the end of lesson 14. I will see you back with lesson 15. Please let me know what questions you had from this video. Happy to help.